Turning into a Kakievich. In the ice-cold, windowless room of the Ulster County Hall of Records. I was introduced to Akaky Akakievich, the boring and unremarkable protagonist of Nikolai Gogol's short story The Overcoat, last year, and I was immediately sympathetic to the character, but I don't think I fully understood his inner life until I started working here, in the Department of Micrographics. Like Akaki, I'm short, pale, and pockmarked. But he's way too invested in his work. He's incompetent at everything else. He speaks entirely in incomplete sentences. He has no romantic prospects, and he doesn't go to parties. He dies alone, having never reached his full potential. Akaki and I are both civil servants working in government departments. His job is to copy official documents, and mine is to number them. Every 50 pages I check my work. Crap. Now I have to go back and renumber every single page from 1104 to 1150 because I spaced out for 1 second and I couldn't have done it later on. No, I had to be right at the beginning of a new 50 pages. It's fine. It's just a job. I don't have any emotional stock in this at all. And you know, there's a kind of pleasure to be taken in the rotest of tasks. I can ignore everything around me almost completely. I do still have to count, but counting is something I can do. And you know, I do start to like the numbers after a while. There's the number 6, which is so much fun to write. Swoosh. The number 7, which they tell me to stop putting the line through because apparently that's not the American standard, and it might be confused for an F, which, in my opinion, it looks like a 1 if I don't put the little line through it. Who is going to think that's an F? Anyway, it's fine. It's just a job. I'm not emotionally invested in this at all. Long file. 1122. What a beautiful number. And how often does one get to write the number 1122? It's so symmetrical. Like two couples. It suddenly strikes me that this 2 looks like Ron Perlman. And I'm kind of surprised by this, because Ron Perlman is so obviously a 4 kind of person. I don't mean in like an attractiveness scale sense, I just mean like his general vibe. One of the other interns, Mel, sits at the table in front of me. She's talking about, she's excited about, she's taking the next few days off. Her girlfriend is coming up from Philadelphia. They're going to spend the rest of the week together. I didn't know she had a girlfriend. She doesn't know about me that, well, we're sort of similar, in a way. And I want to say, I don't know what I would say. My birth certificate, passport, and state ID are printed with a girl's name. The acceptance letter for the Ulster County Youth Worker Program is addressed to a Ms. Lowengard. For all intents and purposes, I'm just another straight woman in a department consisting mostly of heteronormative straight women. I have no actual proof to show that I am who I am. My breaks are at 10:30, 12 o'clock, and 3:15. I usually just read. This is a textbook for a course I'm going to be taking when I start college in the fall. Shakespeare's Histories. I figure why not get some work done while I have the time. Ah, it's Lori. Hi, Lori. Oh, this is just a book. I'm taking a course in Shakespeare's Histories, place. and I wanted to read the introduction because I'm not so familiar with one. So. Oh no, I'm just reading this for fun. I'm in Lori's office. She squints at me through heavily mascaraed eyelashes. Tom is next to her, leaning against the wall. Like his torso, his mustache is tipped to one side in a kind of grimace. Hey, Lori, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. I just wanted to let you know that even though I was forced to write female on the employment forms because I didn't want to get arrested for identity fraud, I'm actually a man. From now on, I would like you to use he, him pronouns when referring to me. I expect you to communicate this information to all employees in the building, as well as to make it a part of your yearly employee trainings to discuss supporting LGBTQ+, specifically transgender, colleagues in the workplace. I would also like the men's and women's restrooms converted to gender neutral. This is what I've determined will be the most comfortable for everyone. You don't need to know whether I was assigned male or female at birth, and you don't need to know if I'll be starting hormones or not. That's irrelevant to the right I have to be respected as a person. This is a matter of great importance to me, and I'm not willing to negotiate on any of these requests. I intimidate Lori with my powerful gaze. And Tom stares in awe at my bravery and self-confidence. They apologize profusely. I graciously accept. How could they have known? But it's all okay now. Everyone immediately corrects themselves when Lori explains the situation to them. It's all right, they know now. We laugh about the mishap and move on with our day, never to speak of it again. The summer goes by so quickly, I barely notice the long days of numbering. It's just a blast! Never in my life have I felt so valued. I still keep in touch with many of my friends from Micrographics. Part of the overcoat where Akaky Akakievich is offered a position with just slightly more responsibility than copying. And after trying it out, it gives him such anxiety that he says, "No, I can't do it. You better give me something to copy." I've spent a lot of my life putting things off. New experiences come with being unsure, unsettled, incompetent. It's one of the reasons why I've never acted on my feelings towards someone, or traveled alone, or learned how to drive, or until recently, had a job. You know, I'll just let everyone down. I've been putting off telling people my pronouns. I've put off transitioning for a long time. I'm used to this way of being, and the thought of changing it all is exhausting. It feels unnecessary. And it's not so bad living as a woman. I mean, maybe I could just be androgynous, and that would fix everything. And it's actually a lot easier to live as a straight woman than as a gay transgender man, so I'd really just be making things a lot harder for myself, and there's nothing stopping me from just wearing clothes from the men's section. You see, it's really all right everywhere. In fact, excellent. As a matter of fact, it's in fine condition here and all over, and you might get the impression that it was old, but as a matter of fact, it's good as new, except here in this one place where it's a bit, you know. Okay, I admit it. That last bit was actually Kakievich talking about his old worn-out overcoat. The overcoat is literally falling apart, and he still insists that the tailor mend it, despite the fact that he clearly needs a new overcoat. And when he does get a new overcoat, he's a completely changed man. He goes to a party. He has fun. He loves himself. I do have fun, though. For example, look at how much fun I'm having writing this number. 26. Swoosh. And anyway, fun isn't the point of this job. The point of this job is to prepare archived insurance documents for scanning, to be digitized and put in a digital archive instead of the physical archives that they have in the building. And there's something really beautiful about that, you know? These pages, they've been through law firms, they've been in clerks' offices, courts, they've been in hospitals. Some of these documents, they were printed in the 80s or 90s before I was even born. And now I'm numbering them. I wonder how old this coffee stain is. Whose cup of coffee it was. Documents have been through so much only to end up in this white, fluorescent-lit, windowless room in the middle of Kingston, New York. And my hands are two of the last hands that will ever touch them. Tom tells me, you know, we could actually finish this whole scanning job in like a year. Yeah, we actually have the technology to do all of this scanning super quickly, but then we'd lose the job, so they want us to do it in the least efficient way possible. This department, Micrographics, belongs to another era. In the past, the Micrographics department was devoted to archiving documents as photo slides, literally micrographics. Tom points out the narrow shelves on the walls. Those used to store the rolls of film. He shows me the machine they use to view the film. It's large and beige. Of course, nobody uses the machine very much. Nobody uses the slides anymore. It's all digital. Now, the one purpose of this department is to digitize these files, and once the files are digitized, there won't be any work to do here anymore. There won't be a Micrographics. And I get to be a part of this dying profession. I'm actually very lucky to be working here. I get to experience this job that will be obsolete by the time I'm 50. If I could just get a new overcoat! I could go to parties. I could be accepted. I could be fun and not so extremely boring that numbering pages is my primary source of excitement this summer. I have to stop putting things off. My first year at Bennington passes. Everything is new. I use new pronouns. I make new friends. I go to every party. And yet, here I am, a year later. Back in Micrographics. And it feels like nothing has changed at all. There's Lori. There's Tom, leaning against the wall. I've been meaning to tell you something. It actually goes better than I expect. I walk to my desk. The office looks the same as it did last year. The employees are the same. The blinding fluorescent lights are the same. the linoleum floor is the same. I'm grateful to Lori and Tom for hearing me out, but they don't change. Micrographics is a government department. The only version of me that they acknowledge is the one that's printed on my legal documents. But I know who I am. I love myself. And unlike Akakievich, I live.